Let's do that again. So, hello people. I would like to welcome you to this hybrid team training program. My name is Tony Yamatocha once again. And tonight we are going to be discussing a topic that is really important to your success as an online marketer. What we're going to be talking about tonight is about how you can create a lead generation system for building your list online and also for selling too as well. So what do I mean by a lead generation system and what do I mean by building your list and all of these things? These are the things that we are going to be covering. So please pay attention and follow along with me. And if you have any questions, there is a question panel by your right hand side where you can type in your questions. So let's move ahead. Now, to start with, I would like to do some sort of introduction. Now, in case you don't know, when we say a lead, we're talking about a prospect. Basically, what we are saying is we're talking about someone who is most likely to become a customer. That is, someone who is most likely to buy something from you. That is who we refer to as a lead or a prospect. Okay. Now, this training is all about how you can create systems that help you to generate leads. Because basically what it means is that the more leads you generate, the more customers you will be able to get. And the more customers you get, the more sales you make. And the more sales you make, the more money you make. Okay? That is basically how it flows. Okay? Now, why do we put this in? Now, it is simple. Not everybody who comes to your website is going to buy from you immediately. You can think about it yourself. When you go over to a website, do you basically buy from there the very first time? I don't know about it, but for me the answer is no. I don't buy from all sites that I go to. At times because of trust issues or because I'm not ready or because I don't have enough money now. These are various reasons why somebody who comes to your website for the first time, who clicks on your affiliate link, won't buy immediately. Okay? So many times out of 100 likely customers, it might just be just 2 of them that will buy that same day. So what happens to the remaining 98 who did not buy that day? Now, if you are working without a lead generation system, what is going to happen is that you're going to lose out on those 98 people. And as a matter of fact, if you actually follow up on those 90 people, about 20 or 30 or 40 of them might still become customers, which means more money for you. So that is why it is very important to do follow-ups. It is very important to do follow-ups. And for you to do follow-ups, you need to be able to generate leads that you can have access to. Okay? Just follow along with me. I'll try and make this as simple as possible so that you can understand, especially for people who are new to marketing online. Now, I have said this over and over again. Your success when it comes to doing business online, when it comes to making money online, has to do with your ability to sell. Okay? The better you get at selling, the better systems you have for selling, the more money you are going to make. And as a matter of fact, using a lead system is one of the ways by which you can sell better, by which you can make more sales, because it helps you to convert more of the people who are visiting your website into buyers. All right. Now, I want to quickly say something as regards our team, as regards the whole hybrid team. Now, the way we are designing this system and all this training program is as such that you guys, when you go out there and you begin to sell, you won't actually be competing with people. What you will be doing is basically you will be dominating the markets, the niches where you go around to sell. Now, somebody was asking me a question some few days ago. The person says, well, I've already seen a lot of websites online who are selling weight loss. If I go out there too and begin to sell something on weight loss, will I be able to sell? when there is actually a lot of competition? And what I told the person is the answer is you will be able to sell depending on your strategy, depending on the way you plan to market. There is a way you market that actually useless your competition. Okay, it gives you enough it gives you enough results. It gives you mega results. I mean, it gives you mega results. And the way you do that is by making use of these three factors. These three factors help you to dominate in almost any market. Now, I'm just laying this in. I'm still going to go back to the main topic of today, but there is a way this one keys into the whole strategy. Just follow along with me. Now, for you to dominate in any market when you're selling online, for you to dominate in any market where you're selling online, there are three things that have to be in place. Okay? Now, the very first thing that has to be in place is the product or the service you are selling. What you are selling has to be excellent. It has to be irresistible. It has to be an offer that people are going to salivate over. And that is even one of the reasons why we decided to go along with selling products from Forever Living, because their products are excellent, their products are effective. As a matter of fact, some 2 days ago, I was browsing online and I came across this website called Plan B Wellness. It's actually owned by somebody who is marketing Forever Living products. And as I was going through the site, I actually saw that even some of the products, some of the offers that we sell for 70,000, 60,000 naira on our website, this person was selling them for as high as 140,000 on his website. And the funny thing is that you need to see the barrage of comments, positive comments that people are dropping, people who are actually buying those things, despite how expensive or despite how high the price he was selling for was. But they were buying. Okay, why were they buying? It's because of the type of the products. So this is basically the first thing. Okay, now, but then everybody might be able to lay their hands on very good products. Like for instance, now if you are joining Forever, you can have access to the very good. Anybody might be able to do this. But then we now come over to the next thing, the next factor, which is actually having a powerful system for conversion. Now, when we say conversion here, we are talking about your ability to convert visitors into buyers. Okay? Now, this is where it changes. This is where the whole thing changes. Because right now, what it now means is that now this is where we have powerful system for conversion. Now, right here, the whole thing changes because not everybody is able to design a system that helps to solve very well online. So this is one of the areas where they won't be able to compete with you because of the type of system that you are taking to war. Okay, it's just like you going to war, or you're going to fight with someone, or you're going to fight with another group of people, and they came to war with maybe the normal one barrel rifle that local hunters use, and here you are coming to war with a machine gun. Okay, now that gives you an unfair advantage over them. Okay, now the third thing you're gonna need is super targeted traffic. Super targeted traffic online. Your lifeblood online when you're doing business online is your ability to get traffic that is targeted. Okay, now but for this part we are going to be talking mainly on this second option right here, which is a powerful system for conversion. And this is actually the area where lead generation comes into play. Okay, so let me see. Now, as a hybrid member, there are actually two ways for you to earn. There are two ways for you to earn as a hybrid member. Now, the very first way is by directly selling products from Forever. You know, you get product from Forever and you sell and you make money, okay? You make retail profit, Forever gives you some other bonuses and all that. Now, that is the first way for you to earn. But the very second way for you to earn, which is actually optional, you don't have to do this, is when you begin to share what you are doing with others, and then you begin to build a team, and then you begin to build a series of downlines. Okay, you begin to teach them what you are doing, you begin to teach them how to sell online. Now, as they are selling online, you also begin to make a part of what they are selling. You begin to earn bonuses from their sales. This is another way for you to earn online. Okay, so but let's talk about the first part, selling products. How do you sell products? Now, there are three ways for you to actually sell products as a hybrid team member. Now you can use either of these three ways, or you can use all of them. The first option we have here is you can sell to Nigerians as a full-time merchant. Okay, for instance, if you go over to the Plan B Wellness site that I was talking to you about earlier, the people operating the site are actually selling the products they are selling as a full-time merchant. Okay, they're basically getting their products from the network company that they are working for and selling to customers. You too can do this. You create your own offers on your website, you create your own sales copy, you deliver product directly to customers, you attend to the customers' inquiries. That is the first option. The second option we have here is you can decide to sell as an affiliate to Nigerians. The way you do this is by, instead of creating your own offers on your website and all that, you come over to our website, our platform, you choose some of the offers that we have available, and then you promote those offers as an affiliate, which gives you about 60% retail profit commission. That way, we handle the delivery, we handle customer inquiries, and we also ensure that we buy every product on your FLP ID. Okay, so this is the second option. And of course, the third option is selling FLP products to people in any of the countries where Forever is located and getting paid on those sales. Selling FLP products to people in any of the countries where Forever is located and getting paid commissions on the sales. Now, I believe by now everybody on this training have read the PDF I sent to you about the training Mr. Kyle Jagede did, where he was taking you through the processes for selling as a Forever distributor to people in other countries, whereby you'll be given a link that is kind of like an affiliate link to, and then you promote that link, and then when people buy from your store in that country, you will be get paid your bonus on the retail price of that product. Okay, if you haven't gone through that PDF, you should log into your email, download the PDF, and go through it. This is another option for you to sell. But if you look at all the three options, it's all about selling, selling, selling. Okay, and using a lead generation system in all of them will help you sell better, because it gives you the advantage of following up and of converting more visitors into prospects, especially for people like you who are just getting started in marketing, in selling online. Now, why do I say that? I'm going to quickly tell you guys a short story, okay? And that short story is actually a story of myself. And back in 2008, I think, yeah, 2008, I was actually trying to sell online and using all sorts of systems. One of the ways I was trying to use to sell online is that I would basically write an advert, okay? I would basically write an advert and say, okay, this is what I'm selling. If you want to buy it, this is how you can make payments for it. And then I would place that advert in like Punch or any of these other newspapers. And at times, I spend 20,000 naira, for instance, now on an advert. At times, I won't make any money. At times, I will just make maybe 5,000 naira out of the 20,000, okay, which is still a loss. And I was doing that and I was getting frustrated. Then one day, I read a report by one pastor in the US who also happens to be an internet marketer. His name is Jimmy D. Brown. And in that report, he said, when you are selling online, no matter what you are selling, either you are selling your own products or you are selling as an affiliate, the very first thing you should do is get people into a list. He was emphasizing it over and over again. He was saying, get people into a list, get people into a list. And I said, okay, for the next ad that I'm going to run, I'm actually going to try and do what this man is saying. So for the next ad that I ran, again for 20K, instead of telling people to buy directly, I wasn't telling people to buy. Instead, I was giving people a free report. And I was saying, to get this free report, just go over to this website. Okay? And when they get to the website, they're going to see a form where they can enter their details and get the free report. That was now the strategy that I decided to use. Now, when they opt in to get the free report, I give them I send the free report into their email address, but I also tell them about what I was selling. Okay, so I did that this time around, and what I found out is that about 135 people opted in to that list. Now, not all of them bought the same day, not all of them bought the same week. I think that very week, I think I made about 8,000. Okay, but what happened was that over the next 30 days, I was able to make about 65,000 from emails that were sent to people to follow up on them. Now, if I didn't build that list, if I didn't get the contact details of all of these people, I wouldn't have been able to follow up on them, and all the money I would have made would have been that first 8,000. But because I was able to follow up on these prospects, I was able to sell more and make more money. As a matter of fact, not only did I sell to them that year, I still sold to some of them in 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, even 2016. So you can imagine how much I have now made from that 20K advert that I placed then, all because I used a system to generate those leads so that I could follow up with them over and over and over again. Another reason why you have to use a lead generation system is because when people come to your website for the first time, their level of trust about you is usually low. Okay? So you want to create a medium, an opportunity for you to get them to know you better, so that they can trust you, so that they can buy from you, so that they can listen to what you are saying. For instance, I actually want to bet that for some of you guys who are listening to me right now, the very first time you came to my website, you were full of a whole lot of doubt in your mind. Some of you didn't buy anything from me or respond to any of the thing I was doing for the first month you joined, the second month, the third month, but later on you began to respond. Okay, this is the type of system you want to put in place. And I tell people, since the time I learned this from Jimmy D Brown, ever since then I have never wasted any money on running adverts. Never. I have never wasted any money on running adverts. This is actually what I do, because I know that if I place an ad and get leads, even if those leads don't buy today, even if they don't buy next week, they are still going to continue to buy. It is usually a matter of trust or a matter of urgency. Okay, so let's continue now. So I'm saying your lead generation system is actually a part of your entire sales process. Your lead generation system is a part of your overall sales process. What do I mean? Now, I believe you guys can see my screen very well. If you can see my screen very well, what you are looking at is actually a sales process for somebody who wants to sell as an affiliate. Okay? Now, let me pick up my pencil or my highlighter over here. Now, it all starts with traffic right here. Okay? It starts with traffic. Right here. You send traffic to a pre-sale page. Now, basically, what you have on this page is actually like an article. Okay? So let's just name this particular page A. Okay? That is your pre-sale. That is the first page. What you have here is an article that this particular prospect you are trying to attract actually likes. Now, when this person lands on this pre-sale page, pre-sale article, they read it, they like it. So at the end of the article, basically what you say is that, okay, if you want more information, I have something else to offer you. Okay, but for you to get that thing, you need to actually opt in before you can get the next thing I'm giving out to you. Are you guys following me? Please, if you are following me, please let me just see. I would like to get some responses. If you are following me, just let me know. I would like to see you raising up your hand, or because I need to ensure you are actually getting what I'm saying. Okay, thank you. All right. So what happens right here is you send them to what is called an opt-in page. Okay. I'm going to show you some examples of an opt-in page later on. I believe I've actually shown you some of these things, but then I'm going to show you again. So basically you send them to an opt-in page. Now, that opt-in page usually is going to have an opt-in form, a form where people can fill in their name, their email address, their phone numbers, and all that. I believe you are familiar with this type of page by now. Now, when they do that, the first thing that happens is that automatically they are signed up to your email list. Okay? They will be signed up automatically into your email list. That is the first thing that happens. But the second thing that also happens is that they will now be redirected to, you will now redirect them to another page where you have the content that you promised them. So basically what I'm saying right here is that, okay, somebody clicks on your ad, they read an article, this is page 1, okay, all. Then we also have this other page here, let's call this one page B, okay. Now when they do this, they automatically join your email list right here. Now then they are also redirected to your promised content. So here we can call this page C. Now like you can see, as an affiliate, you only need 3 pages, just 3 pages for you to sell. Okay, of course you can have different varieties of your pre-sale page, you can have different varieties of your opt-in page, you can have different varieties of this content, but basically what I'm saying here is that you basically need just these 3 type of pages: your pre-sale page, your opt-in page, and the page where you deliver the promised content. What do I mean by the promised content? Now, on this opt-in page, to get people to opt in, you will actually be promising them something to get them to opt in. Now, that thing that you are promising them is what you deliver right here. Okay, and once you deliver that thing right here, short, precise, okay, what you now do is that you now recommend the product you are selling as an affiliate. You now recommend that product to them. So they can now click on the link over here, and then they will now be able to come over to the page where the product you are promoting is. Now, this particular page is not your page. This is the page of the merchant you are selling for as an affiliate. Now, let's even say you are promoting Forever products to people who are outside of Nigeria, and you are doing this using the Forever Living website. In this case, the Forever Living website will be this particular one over here. So that means you run an ad, it goes to a pre-sale page, it goes to an opt-in page, you give them the promised content, and then you lead them directly to the Forever website. Now, the area you are seeing right here with this purple circle, this is the lead generation system right here. This is the part of the sales process that is the lead generation system. Okay, so opt-in page, people opt in and then they join your email list. But then there are so many things that comes into this opt-in page. We're going to be talking about it later on. Okay, but then this is basically it, and of course follow-ups via email. Now let's look at a sales process for affiliates without the lead generation system. Okay, this is the process with the lead system right here, the one I circled in purple, and here we have the sales process for an affiliate without the lead system. So now, actually, over here you can see that you only need one page here. You only need one page right here. So there are other affiliates who actually sell this way. Okay, there are some affiliates who sell this way, but you won't get the type of results you're going to get using the first process, because basically right here what you are doing is you have an advert that people click on, it takes them to a pre-sale content, okay, and at the end of that pre-sale content, instead of giving them a link to your opt-in page, what you are doing right here is that you are actually giving them a link of the product you are selling as an affiliate. Okay, now, compare this. Here you have advert traffic, pre-sale page, you give them a link to your opt-in page, okay, but over here, advert, pre-sale page, sales page of the product you are selling as an affiliate. Now, which of this system should you use? It's obvious. This system performs way better. But then, I actually don't use this system myself all of the time. At times when I'm in a hurry, I just go ahead and use this system. But like I said, the disadvantage of not including a lead system is that you won't be able to follow up on people who don't respond immediately. Because online, things are different online from offline. Online, when somebody lands on the website and then they click on that close button, that little X button by the top right hand corner, when they click on it, at times they are gone forever. If you don't have a system that is designed to follow up on them, you would have spent your money, you would have wasted the money that you used to bring that person to your website because they did not buy. But when you have a lead system, you will be able to follow up on them. Okay? So, but there are some times when you can actually put up a sales process like this without a lead system, and at times you might be lucky. This might actually be converting very well for you. Okay? So, but then, even if you still improve it and use something like this, you are going to get better results. Okay, let's even look at the sales process for a full-time merchant now. And the one I just showed you was the sales process you're going to be using to sell as an affiliate, using our affiliate platform to people in Nigeria, or even if you are selling forever products, that same affiliate system is the same thing you are going to be using. But then let's look at the sales process for a full merchant. Now, these flows are similar, but over here, okay, of course we have the advert or traffic. Okay, we have the pre-sale page. Okay, which leads to what? The opt-in page, which gets people into your email list, just like we had on the affiliate system. Now, right here, there are two things you can do as a full-time merchant. The very first thing you can do is, now this is actually option 1, okay? This is option 2. Now, under option 1, when somebody opts in, just like the one we saw in the affiliate system, you can actually take them to a page where they can read the content that you promised to them, and when they've read it, they can click on the link on that content and go to your sales page where you have the product that you are selling, in which in this case you are the owner of this sales page. It is on your website. Okay, so that means here as an affiliate, you have page A, you have page B, you have page C, and then you have page D over here. Okay, but there are some times when you might not really need this page. Okay, there are some times when this promised content that you are promising over here can actually be delivered on this sales page. Okay, so I'm going to be explaining what I mean by that later on. And of course, it comes into this email list where you can follow up on these prospects. Now, what about in a situation where you decide not to include a way to generate leads into your system? What happens? Well, this is actually what we are going to see. This is the sales process for a full-time merchant without the lead system. So you have your advert or traffic, it leads to your pre-sale page, and it leads to your sales page. Just like that, straight up. But then when people do not buy, what happens? There is no way to follow up on them. Okay? So I've been talking about the lead generation system. Okay, what exactly are the components? What are the elements that makes up this lead system? Well, the very first thing is a lead magnet. I'm going to be explaining what I mean by that. An opt-in page and the autoresponder. Okay? So, okay, I just remember something right now. Now, we were talking about this pre-sale page. Now, I know some people might be bothered about, okay, how exactly do I create a pre-sale page? You don't have to be bothered. By next week, Monday, we're going to have a webinar where Mr. Ronald is going to show you how you can create your pre-sale content. Okay, so that shouldn't be a concern to you. And in some other webinars, he will be showing you how you can create your sales page too as well. That is for full-time merchants. But I would also advise that people who have the idea of selling only as an affiliate should also attend the webinar on how to create a sales copy, because it is going to help your marketing. So this is where we are. Components of a lead generation system: a lead magnet, an opt-in page, and an autoresponder. Now, what exactly do we mean by a lead magnet? Now, when we say a lead magnet, we're talking about something valuable that you can give away to attract a likely customer. Okay? I say a lead magnet is simply something valuable, mostly a piece of content that you give away to attract someone who is interested in what you have to offer. Now, when I say in what you have to offer, I'm talking about the product you are promoting. Someone who would likely become a customer. What is the type of information or what type of thing can you give to them that will get them to actually subscribe, to join your email list? Okay, that is what we are talking about right here. And not all lead magnets are content. Not all lead magnets are in form of information. As a matter of fact, your lead magnets sometimes can be physical products. But for these purposes, what you're going to be using is content, information. And that information can actually be delivered as an article, a PDF, or videos online. Okay? Now, here is a quote from Dan Kennedy, also known as the Millionaire Maker. Now, Dan Kennedy says, powerful bait is information, ideas, even secrets about a subject, solution, or desire that interests your desired creator the most. Now, when he says powerful bait, he is basically talking about your lead magnet. That is something that you use to attract a likely customer. Okay? Now, when he says your desired creator, he's talking about the type of audience, the type of people you want to attract. And this is actually simple. Okay? If you are selling a pregnancy kit, or if you are selling a fertility kit, what type of person are you looking to attract? I believe the answer is obvious, right? If you are selling a product on fibroid, for instance, what type of people are you looking to attract? Let me just hear from you guys. I would like to hear what you think about that. If you are selling a product on fibroid, what type of people are you looking to attract? Who are the set of people that are most likely to be your customer? I would like to see your responses in the chat box. Okay, people are saying women, women, women. Okay, that's true. It's actually women, but then you also want to actually look at women between a particular age range. Okay, now you now begin to think about what type of information can you give out to somebody who is looking to get rid of fibroid that would get them to opt in into your email list. That is what you are looking for. Thanks for the responses. You can stop now. Now I'm going to give you some examples just for you to get this idea of a lead magnet as clear as possible. I'm going to start with a story that I got from Franken. Now Franken is one of my marketing mentors online. So there's a story he told about a time when he traveled to Italy with his wife. So right there in Italy, he got to know about an ice cream parlor owner who makes $2 million per year selling ice cream from a little shop. So he was wondering, how on earth does this man do it? How is he able to sell ice cream and make $2 million in a year? So he began to study what the man was doing. And this is what he found out. Now, every day when this man opens his shop, this is what he does. They serve ice cream. No, not actually in the morning. When it is hot, like in the afternoon, what they do is that this man serves ice cream in little bars, in little ice cream bars. Then he now gives those ice cream to some of his workers, some of his salespeople. They go out, they look for people who are within that environment. Okay? People who are sweating, people who are feeling hot. Okay? They look for those people and then they sort of like give them the ice cream bar. And when the person asks, wow, why are you giving me an ice cream bar? They point to the man who will be in the front of his shop, and the man will actually be waving at them. Okay? And then they will say compliments from Mr. So-so from that ice cream parlor. Then they will point at the shop. And that particular person will take that ice cream bar and then, eat it. And it's just small ice cream, okay? Just small ice cream. But for somebody who is hot, somebody who is sweating, they take the ice cream, and what happens is that there is a demand, there is a desire for them to get more. Okay? And guess what? Where did they go to go and get more ice cream? They go to this man's ice cream parlor. Okay? So that is actually how this man is able to attract prospects, attract as many prospects as possible to come into his ice cream parlor every day, because he knows exactly the bait, the type of bait to give to people to get them to come into his parlor. Now, that is just an offline example, but then that is just the only way to do this. Okay, let's now go to ways to do it online. Now, what about if you are selling something on weight loss? Okay, what about if your weight loss product is targeted to women? Okay, now one of the things you can give out is free information. Free information is usually very powerful. It does not cost you anything. And here you can actually give out, if I give out something like this, 7 little known secrets used by overweight Nigerian actresses to look 2 times slimmer than they really are. And I say opt in here. Fill in this form below to get access to this information. What do you think is going to happen? Most people who come across this page, who are women, who are overweight, would want to get access to this type of information. Okay? And when I give them this information, I will be able to build more rapport with them, and then I will be able to offer the product I am selling directly or the products that I am selling as an affiliate. Or what about this other example? If I put up a lead magnet that says why Fulani women never get fat, if you want to know what their secrets are, then join us. Join us by filling this form below. What's going to happen? Most people are going to sign up. Of course, at times, not everybody. There might just be some people who are just curious, who will fill in the form. They are not really overweight, but then it doesn't really matter. What matters is that this is going to help you to capture people that you are targeting. Okay, one more example right here. Now, what about if you have a business opportunity website? What are the different things you can give out to target people who are looking for business opportunities? Now, of course, it depends on the type of audience you are targeting, but here is one that I used sometimes in 2014. Okay, in 2014, I actually created a free report. So when you land on our page, the page basically says, free report reveals how a loony sex post on Linda Ikeji blog made me 13.8 million naira. That is what you see. And it says, if you want to know, if you want to have details, if you want to get the free report, fill in the form we have below. Or what about the one you see on 7-star courses, which says free online training, how to sell online using an effective and simple 3-step approach. All of these things are just lead magnets. Okay, these are just examples of ways by which I'm giving out information to attract people who are most likely to become customers. Because for instance now, if I'm putting up information about how to sell online using an effective and simple three-step approach, somebody who does not want to know how to sell online, somebody who is not interested in selling online will not fill in the form to join my list. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some examples, but then let's move on. Regardless of the format that your lead magnet is, when it is in form of information now, regardless of the format, here are the elements that actually make it up. What I'm saying now is that here is actually a format that you can use to like write the content. So of course it's going to have a title. You open it up, you talk about why should you listen to me. Okay, because one of the things you are trying to do here is you are trying to establish the element of trust, the element of credibility. Then of course you deliver the content. Okay, then you recommend the offer you are promoting, either for yourself or if you are promoting it as an affiliate. Okay, one other question that we have here is that, okay, how exactly do you get the content that you are going to use for your lead magnet? Well, when you know the people, kind of people you are targeting, like for instance, if you are selling a product on fibroid, like I talked about earlier, and you actually want to create a lead magnet on it, what do you do? One of the things that I do is I go to online forums. Okay, I'm going to see posts or questions that people are asking about fibroid and stuff. That is one. The second thing I do is that I go on to Google. I go and read various articles about fibroid. And if I actually see something that I know people would like to have access to, I can actually copy that information and rework it and present it as my lead magnet. Another source you can use is magazines. Okay, if you have magazines now, for instance, if I have magazines where maybe a health magazine that is for women, that I can actually open up and see some nice information that the people in that market would like to have access to, that is another way. Okay, and one other option is your lead magnet can actually be a continuation of the pre-sale you offered to people when they clicked on your ad and then they landed on your website. So your pre-sale content can actually be a continuation of that. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to be talking about are the opt-in pages. But before we talk about the opt-in pages, let's just quickly go online and do a little bit of work. So I just want to just show you some, let me see. I'm actually going to go online and click on some adverts and actually show you a little bit of what I'm talking about. Now, what I'm going to do right here is that I'm actually going to quickly show you, okay, what you are looking at. I believe you guys can still see my screen. Let me see. Okay, okay. So now what you are seeing right here, I'm just using this for example purposes. So I'm just going to click on my pen and let me see. Let me use an arrow. So okay. So I'm clicking on this ad. Now, if you can remember from what I was telling you about, I was saying when I was showing you all these sales processes, when somebody clicks on your ad, and then it takes them to a pre-sale page. Okay, now in this case, this is actually this particular marketer's pre-sale page right here. Okay, his own pre-sale page is in form of an article over here. Okay, in form of an article. So his article is pretty long. I guess that's why he divided it into various pages. So now, if you can see, by the time I click on the last link over there, what you can see right here, it says, sorry, you must be a subscriber to access the rest of this content. Okay, now in this case, what this person is actually doing is that his own lead magnet right here is actually the continuation of this pre-sale. That is why he says, for you to be a subscriber, you have to be, I mean, for you to access the rest of this content, you have to be a subscriber. So, and for you to subscribe, you just come over here and fill in this form. This is opt-in form right here. Okay, that is just an example. Okay, so let's look at this is one of our pages from 7-star courses. Now this page says how to sell online using an effective and simple 3-step approach. This is like our opt-in page. So let's just quickly cover the area of the opt-in page so that it will be easier for me to actually explain the whole process. So let's quickly talk about the opt-in pages. Now when we say the opt-in page is actually also known as, you can call it a capture page, you can call it a squeeze page, okay? You can call it an opt-in page, you can call it a capture page, you can call it a squeeze page. It really does not matter. Those things are just terminologies. Let me see what I have here. Okay. So now an opt-in page or a capture page is actually a web page that you use mainly for the purpose of building your list by giving away your lead magnets in exchange for the contact details of your prospects. And remember that we define your prospect as somebody who is likely to become a customer. And the main details that are usually collected on an opt-in page are the name of the prospect, their email address, their phone number, and their location. Now, it is not always important for you to get all of these details. At times, it might just be the name and the email address. But most of the time, you really want to get the email address because the email address is the best way possible for you to access people online, for you to communicate with people online. Okay, so that's what I said. Names, the name field and the email address field are the most common. So what exactly do we usually have on an opt-in page? Well, we have the headline and the hook. We have the opt-in form. Then of course the layout of the page. Then at times you might use bullets and at times you might use graphics. Okay, 4 and 5 is actually optional, not compulsory. Now here are some examples. Here are some examples. So right here you can see what I'm giving out here. Free. How I turned a simple idea from Linda Ikeji blog into a 13.8 million naira income. That is the information that I am giving out, and I'm using it here as my headline here. Okay. Enter your email address below to get instant access. Now the box you are looking at right there, that is the opt-in form. That is example number 1. Here is another example right here. This one is from a fitness expert. It says, free, the simple workout plan that turned a mother of 3 into an international cover model and fitness celebrity. Free instant access. Where is the form here? Well, the way this page is designed is that when you click on the yellow button you are seeing right there, it brings up a form where you enter your details if you want this free information. Here is another one by a friend of mine. This one says, Linda Ikeji, the most successful Nigerian blogger, so and so. Do you want to own a blog as successful as Linda? If your answer is yes, then fill in your email and address below to get more information on how to achieve this. Okay. Here is another opt-in page. This one is actually being used by somebody promoting a network marketing company. It says, struggling to make money online, discover how an ex-banker earned 2.8 million naira in 1 year working from home. Enter your email below, blah 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 blah, and then you can see his picture there. Okay, just for credibility purposes. Then here it is, another one over here, and this is another one, and all that. So these are just various examples of opt-in pages or of squeeze pages or capture pages. Okay, it will have a headline or a hook. It must have an opt-in form. Then the layout too is also important. The layout must be very simple. I prefer very simple layouts. Like you can see this opt-in page right here, very simple. Okay, so, or even if you look at our opt-in page at 7-star courses, you can see it. It is simple. And you want to use something like this. You want to eliminate anything that is going to confuse people when they land on your website. So you make it as simple as possible. And luckily for you guys, in the marketing tool folder that I sent to you, which I believe you all have access to by now, if you haven't seen it, just log in into your email and download it, because I've sent the links to you. So I actually have different samples of opt-in pages that you can use to design your own opt-in page. So basically, this is one, all of these. These are various examples that you can use. So you can basically take any of these layouts and just edit it and format it, and then give it to somebody to design the page for you or design it yourself. So there are two basic ways for you to design your opt-in page. It's either you do it yourself or you outsource it to someone to do it for you. Okay? Some people have been asking me for someone that I can recommend to help them with their website, and I've actually sent everyone the address of somebody who can help you out with your website. But then you can also create it yourself. As people who are just starting out, I would actually recommend that you learn at least one tool that helps you to create your opt-in page or your web pages yourself. It is still the same tool that you use to create your web page, because actually an opt-in page is actually a web page. It's a page on the web. Okay, so I would recommend that you learn how to use at least one tool so that you can make edits anytime you like without having to wait for a designer. So that's basically all about your opt-in page. Your opt-in page consists of the lead magnet you are giving out, which you talk about it in your headline. It consists of the layout, that is how the page is laid out, the design of the page, and of course the opt-in form. Okay, so apart from all of these things, the next thing you're going to need when it comes to designing your lead generation system is an autoresponder. Okay, Why an autoresponder? Now, if you look at what I have been telling you about opt-in pages, I think I showed you this particular page. When you click on this button right here, it pops up this form. Now, the form you are seeing right here is actually a form that is generated by an autoresponder, because it is actually an autoresponder that helps you to collect all of this information that people are entering, helps you to store them in a file so that you can easily follow up on them. You can easily send emails to all of these people anytime you log in into your autoresponder. Okay, so let me quickly talk about the autoresponder. I think I have something here. So, in case you are hearing about the term autoresponder for the first time, what do I mean? Alright, an autoresponder is actually a tool that makes your work easier as a marketer online. Okay, it helps you to collect data on your opt-in page. It helps you to organize that data, and it helps you to send out emails to your subscribers, that is, people who opted in on the form that was on your opt-in page. Okay, so it is compulsory for you to use it as an affiliate marketer or a full-time merchant so that you can follow up on people. I have said that over and over again, and I'm still emphasizing on it. Now, there are two major types of autoresponders. We have what we call the self-hosted autoresponder, and we have what we call the third-party autoresponders. Now, forget about the self-hosted autoresponders right now. Okay, focus on the third-party autoresponders. Now, when I say third-party autoresponder, it actually means these autoresponders are being hosted and managed by another company. And all you do to use it is you pay for their services on a monthly or yearly basis. It depends on you. Now, one question I get all the time is, would you advise me to use a free autoresponder? The answer is a big no. Okay? Unless you want to waste your time, drain your energy, and waste your money, then you can go ahead and use a free autoresponder. But if you want to actually build a real business and you want to get maximum results from your marketing, you should pay good money to use a good autoresponder. As somebody marketing online, your autoresponder is actually one of the tools that will deliver a lot of money into your pocket. So here are some of the autoresponders that I recommend. Okay, now the very first one is GetResponse. The very first one right here is GetResponse. You can get a 30-day trial when you go over to getresponse.com and sign up. But if you want to sign up using my GetResponse affiliate link, just go over to ucocontacts.com and use that link to sign up. Okay, it's going to take you to the registration form where you can sign up for a 30-day free trial. The next one you can use is the one called TrafficWave at trafficwave.net. Okay, this one is .net. TrafficWave.net, also good for beginners. Okay, now this particular link over here is not working again, so don't use it. Don't use this link. It's not working. It's no longer active. Just go over to TrafficWave, sign up for the 30-day trial, and use it. Then the next one I have here is aweber.com. Okay, this is the one I'm using most often right now because it is effective and easy to use. Then of course we have iContact.com. We have Sendlane.com. Some people too are talking about Sendlane, that it is good. You can try that one too as well. Then of course we have Mailchimp.com. Now, whichever of these autoresponders you decide to use, each of them have video tutorials available, either on their website or on YouTube. that is going to show you step by step how to use them. But the basic thing is you need to have a general understanding of how autoresponders work. Okay? How autoresponders work. And that is what I will quickly show you guys right now, so that regardless of the autoresponder that you decide to use, you will have an understanding of how they work. So now, basically, when you want to use an autoresponder, these are sort of like the steps you follow. The very first thing you do is you sign for an account. Okay? When you get your account, you log in and you create a campaign. Now, most of the time, this word campaign might be different in some autoresponders. Like for instance, now in Aweber they call it list. Okay, it basically means a way of like categorizing people who are signing up, because you can actually use just one autoresponder account to manage different markets. So let's say you are selling something on fibroid, you're selling something on weight loss, you are selling something on pregnancy, you're selling something on skincare. You can create different lists inside your autoresponder account that you can use to manage each of these markets. Okay? And once you create that list, the next thing you do is you create your opt-in form. And when you create that opt-in form, the autoresponder is going to give you a code that you will now copy and paste on your web page, so that that one is going to create your opt-in page directly. Okay, then of course you set up follow-up messages. We're going to be talking about follow-up email marketing and follow-up messages in an upcoming webinar. And of course, you master how you can send out newsletters or broadcasts. So don't let me confuse you. Let me just go over to one particular autoresponder and sort of like do something on it. So let's say you decide to use aweber.com. Okay, now when you log into your account, you're probably going to see something like this when you log into your account. Now, of course, if it's a new account, you won't see all these stats. This is just my account. Okay, now you see something like this. Now, the very first thing I would do is that I would click on manage lists over here at the top. Okay, so I'm actually using this particular autoresponder to show you the dynamics of using an autoresponder. If you go to maybe SendLane or MailChimp, their own operational system might be different from what you have here, but it is going to be similar. Okay, so I would actually come here, and on this particular page, I can actually click on create a list over here. I can click on create a list, and when I say create a list, it's going to give me a form where I can actually describe the type of list that I want to create. So over right here it says your company name. You can basically fill in maybe your name here, or your company name if you have one. Then your company website, that one too is optional. Then you can fill in your address. Okay, then it's going to ask what is the name you want to go along with your emails. That is, each time your email is delivered, what name do you want that email to carry? That is the sender's name, you fill in there. Then the sender's email too as well, you fill that in too. Okay, so and then you click on next step, and then it says what would you like to name your list? So over here I can just say, well, testing training list for, let us say testing training list. Okay, so this is just for you to know what the list is all about. Then briefly describe the email your subscribers are going to receive, where, and just say emails about using Aweber. Okay, so it depends on whatever you want to use this particular list for. So and then I can click on next step, and then it brings me to this page where it says confirmation message. Okay, so at times when somebody subscribes to your email list, I believe you guys should have experienced something like this when you were joining my list one time or the other. So when somebody signs up to join your email list, at times you want to actually confirm if they are the owner of that particular email address. So if you are using something like that, then you basically bring them to this page. So you can set this up. By default, this is what you're going to see there. So I actually leave it as for default because this is pretty enough. Please click the link below to confirm that you would like to receive email from testing training list. That is the name we gave to this email list. Okay, so and of course thank you, your name, and then I can click on approve message and create list. So right now if you look over here, you are going to see that the list has been created, testing training list. Okay, so what I can do right now is I can now click on okay, let's see what the next step is all about. Let me see. You create a campaign or list. Okay, you create or format your opt-in form. So now over here in Aweber, this is where we have sign up forms. So I'll just click on this sign up form and go ahead and create my form. Okay, when I say my form, I'm talking about something like this. Okay, or something like this. So it says create your first sign up form for this particular list that I just created. So like you can see, there's a video there already that shows you how you can do that. So create your first sign up form. Okay, so it brings me over here. Now Aweber and most autoresponders these days usually have templates. They usually have form templates that you can use. Okay, like over here, if you come over here, you can see these are templates. Okay, like this is a template right here, big sale, blah blah blah. There are other templates, this is another one. Okay, so you can use any of these templates, and all of these templates are actually editable. You can edit them. So you can actually come, this is like in this case now, this is the form we are having over here. So I can actually come over here and say remove this header, remove this powered by Aweber, and then I can say I can actually click on this and change the size over here if I want to do that. Okay, and then I can resize it. Okay, I can resize the form, and whatever it is, you can just edit the form over here. And if you want to add maybe other fields, like maybe field for phone numbers and stuff, I can actually click on create a new field over here. So I can type in phone number and then click on next, and then text input, and then click on save field, and you can see I now have a list for, I now have a field for phone number right here. Okay, so now I can now say save form, then it will save the form, and then I can say go to step 2. Okay, and this is what we have on step 2. So it will ask you for the form name. I can just say sample form, or whichever name that you want to give to the form, just for you to identify what the form is for. Then it says thank you page. Now when it says thank you page, this means the page people are going to be redirected to after filling your opt-in form on your website. What page do you want to redirect them to? Okay, So basically what you do is that they have different samples over here. There is a default page of Aweber. Like if you click on preview right here, if you don't fill in anything over here, if you just leave this as basic version, when people subscribe to your opt-in form, they will basically see a page like this. Okay, but if you don't want that to happen, then you have to come over here and click on custom page. Use your own URL. So it will tell you to actually opt in to give them the link of where people are going to be redirected to when they sign up on your opt-in page. So you can just fill in the page on your website. You just fill in that particular page right here. Okay, so let me just say when people sign up, I want them to be redirected to my blog. Okay, so if you look at the sales process that I've shown you guys, you want, if you are selling as an affiliate, you want to redirect people to your pre-sale, to the content you promise people on the opt-in page. That is the page you want to redirect people to. So you just put that in over here, and you leave all of these ones, and then you say save your form, and of course you go to the next step. So over here, this is where you get the code you will now insert into your website. So over here, I can just click on I will install my form, or if you're using a web designer, then you can just click over here and enter the email address of that web designer here and click on send to my designer, and Aweber will actually send the code for the form and the instructions to the web designer. But then if you want to do this yourself, you can just come over here, click on I will install my form, and actually there are two versions. You can copy the JavaScript version or copy the raw HTML version. So I usually prefer to use the JavaScript version. I'll just copy this, and this will now be what I will use when I'm designing my opt-in page. This is what I'm going to use to design my opt-in page so that the form can show on my opt-in page. Now, where you post the code on your website is going to be part of the tutorials on how you can design your page. So I'll just leave that right now. So that's the next thing you do. Now another thing you might want to do is you need to come over here under list options and come to list settings. Okay, so this is just basically an overall view, overall settings for that particular list that you created. Okay, like I said before, you can create many lists under one particular autoresponder account. Like if you look at my account right here, I actually have various lists over here. Okay, this is the one I just created. This is a list of people who subscribe from my blog. This is a list for something called income control. This is a list for a niche called I love fashion and all that. So this is a list for people who are hybrid members. Okay, so I can just come over here and actually edit anything. Maybe you want to edit maybe your from name or the email address. You can do that over here. Then another thing you want to look at is the confirmed opt-in. Okay, so like I said, at times if you want people to double confirm their email address when they opt in, you may leave this on. So right here, by default, this particular button is usually on. Required opt-in. We strongly recommend leaving confirmed opt-in on. So you may want to leave this on if that is what you want. But if you want people to be redirected immediately to any link you want, you want to turn this off. So just click on yes. Okay, so and then you click on save settings. So that is basically how you use your autoresponder. So the next thing you will, the next areas that you will now be using will be areas that have to do with creating messages. Okay, like over here you can click here to create follow-ups. Okay, follow-ups like automated follow-ups now. Follow-ups where you can basically create like maybe 10 days follow-up, and automatically this autoresponder is going to follow people up based on that. So I can click on this legacy follow-up series and actually come over here and actually use any of plain text message or HTML editor. So let me just use the plain text message version. Okay. Okay, so over here I can create message for that particular list. So I can just title this test email. This is where I fill in my subject line, test email for hybrid training, and then you can personalize it. If you want to include somebody's name, the name they fill on the form, you can actually come over to personalize. I use full name or first name or last name or all of that. Then I can actually come here and type the email. So come over here, just type the email and all of that. Okay, so and once I'm through, I can click on save and exit. Okay, I can click on save and exit over here. And like you can see, there you have it. There you have my number one follow-up. So, so okay, I can now actually add it to my follow-up series. So follow-up number one is the welcome message your subscribers will get immediately after signing up. Okay, so then you can also add other follow-ups using that same process. So that is basically the summary of how you can use Aweber. It doesn't get more complex than that. But of course, you want to get used to it. So if you decide to use Aweber, you can just come over here, go through the video once again, and basically go through the same things I have been doing and get to know it better. Or if you need more help, you can come over here to help. I believe they have other tutorials and videos. If you come over here, you're going to see how do I add a form to my website, how do I import subscribers, how do I create autoresponders, blah 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 blah. They have all of these questions here. Or you can come over here to visit our knowledge base, okay, where you can actually see a whole lot of content that is going to help you to understand how to use the autoresponder. So either you are even using MailChimp, or you are using GetResponse or SendLane or any of these other autoresponders. They all have help tutorials that is going to help you to get started. And if you need further help, of course, I believe if you post something on the forum or on our WhatsApp groups, there will be someone who can actually assist you, who can actually explain one or two things to you as per how you can use the autoresponder. So, but of course, it is really not difficult to use. You just need to get used to it. So, right here, what I'm going to do right now is that, because let me see, I've actually talked about the autoresponder. I've talked about the autoresponder. I have talked about the opt-in pages, and I have talked about the lead magnet. Okay, so that is actually everything you need to create your own lead generation system. So, but one thing you actually want to have at the back of your mind is this: if you are selling as an affiliate, this is your sales process. Okay, if you are selling as a full-time merchant, this is the sales process you are going to be using. Now, some other things that is going to affect how effective your opt-in page works is the type of information you are giving out on your page. the information you are giving out on your opt-in page has to be targeted to the type of people you want to respond. That is why I showed you this particular quote. Okay, let me just take some water. I'll come back. Okay, so I was saying the type of information you want to give out on your with your lead magnet has to be targeted to the type of audience, to the type of customers who you want to subscribe, who you want to sign up, the type of people that you know that, okay, these people are most likely to become customers. Okay, so that is basically it overall. So I actually have some questions over here. Let me just quickly go through the questions that I have here, because I have a whole lot of questions and I need to quickly go through them. Let me see. Okay, somebody says, can't you have your pre-sale page and opt-in page on the same page? Well, it is possible. Like for instance, I think I showed you this particular page. This guy actually has his pre-sale content and his opt-in page on the same page. Of course, his pre-sale now is a long one. That is why he had to divide it into 3 pages, but it is still his pre-sale content. Okay, so but he does not have to redirect people to an opt-in page. He is just putting his own opt-in page right here with the pre-sale content. So if this is what you want to do, well, you can go along with it. It is possible. So is it a must to direct them from opt-in page to promised content? Well, it depends. It depends. But here is what I think. There is this person who is on your opt-in page. They are saying, okay, you are promising them something. Maybe you are promising them 7 ways to, okay, you're promising them 7 tips to learn, 7 fashion tips or 7 fashion tips or 7 fashion tricks. That is what you are promising them. Now, when they are opting in, they are actually expecting to see what you promised them. So like you said, it is not compulsory for you to provide what you promised them on a web page. If you want, you can actually give them that content via email. So that means when they opt in, you can just say, well, check your email address to get the promised information. But the reason why I'm actually recommending that you take them to a page right here is that instead of them going back again to go and check their email, as soon as they opt in, they see the promised content right there, they read it, and then they click on your link, and then they just move on through your sales process that way, without any break in process. So that is why I said you redirect them to the promised content page. Okay. So Mr. Enoch, my focus is not on Aweber. I gave you various options. I don't know why you are saying you are talking about Traffic Wave alone. I gave you various options. I said you can use Traffic Wave, you can use GetResponse, you can use Aweber, you can use any of those autoresponders. So don't begin to think to spend too much time thinking of autoresponders. Just use any of these auto and flow with it. The reason why I moved from Traffic Wave to this particular Aweber is because Traffic Wave actually can't contain the same the quantity of list of subscribers that Aweber can contain. Okay, so that is why I moved away from Traffic Wave, and there are some features of Aweber that you won't find on Traffic Wave 2 as well. But then as a beginner, you can use any of these autoresponders. Mr. Archibong, yes, that promise is the lead magnet. The lead magnet is what you are promising people on your opt-in page. And of course, you are not delivering on your promise. Okay, I promise you this. Like over here now, for instance, this page says, get this training, how to sell online using an effective and simple 3-step approach. Now, I will be taking you to a page where you can have access to what I'm promising you. Okay, that is basically what I'm saying. So somebody says, from this lecture, it means we need a website with many lines of products. Well, I don't know where you got that perception. I never said you need a website with many lines of products. I don't know where you got that perception. If you decide to sell as a full-time merchant and you basically want to sell many products, well, you can have many products on your website. Okay, but then there are many websites that only have one product, two products, and all that, so it doesn't really matter. So somebody says, for a newbie with low budget, which of the listed autoresponders do you advise we start to use? Well, if your budget is low, use Traffic Wave. Okay, the reason why I said use Traffic Wave is because Traffic Waves offers you 30 days free trial, and then their fixed monthly fee is just $18 per month. So for the other autoresponders, the money you pay per month increases when the number of people on your list increases. So, but if you don't want to pay too much money, just use Traffic Wave. When setting up follow-up messages, are we setting it up as scheduled messages? No, you are setting them up as follow-up messages, not scheduled messages. So somebody says, do I need different websites for different niches? Yes. But then it also depends on the type of niches anyway. But most of the time, if you are operating in niches that are very, very different, then of course it is advisable that you use different websites for them. But if the niches are actually niches that are sort of like similar, you can actually combine every one of them under the same website. For instance, let's say you want to sell products on weight loss, fertility, fibroid, and things like that are basically peculiar to women. You can put everything on the same website. Okay, these things don't actually mean either you put everything on the same website or you put them on different websites. It's just to help you organize your business and to reduce distractions. So that is just why in my own case I would like to use different websites, but then you can put everything on the same website or use different websites. Okay, so someone says, how do I insert the generated code from the autoresponder into my website? Well, that particular question is going to be answered under the tutorial for creating your website, your web pages. That tutorial is going to answer that particular question. So those are the questions that I have tonight as regards this training. So I've actually answered everything. So I believe you guys will still want to go through this training once again. Okay, then in upcoming trainings, actually I will be taking you through some funnels, through samples, like live samples. Now you're going to see how these things actually work, so you can actually design your own business according to them. So I think I have one more question. Let me see what the question is all about. Will the autoresponder help us to automatically write emails? Or why not? I think from the example that I showed you over here when I was showing you how to create messages, I showed you how you can actually put, where you can put the body of the email and how you can insert the name of the subscriber. Okay, you can see all of that under the autoresponder, whichever one you are using. Okay, so I believe if you need any other information as regards using any autoresponder, just go over to their help section and you're going to see, as many information as possible that is going to help you right there. Okay, so that will be all for today, people. If you want to see more samples of opt-in pages, just download the marketing tools swipe file that I gave to you to see more samples of pages, okay, of how you can design your opt-in page. So, and if you can't design your opt-in page by yourself, get somebody to help you design the opt-in page and give them any of these templates for them to actually use. Just say, Mr. Designer, I want you to help me design something like this, and then give them the content and give them the opt-in code to insert, and they will do that for you. But I actually really advise people to at least learn how to do these things yourself. Okay, so that will be all for now, and if you have other questions, just post your questions on the Facebook group or post it on the WhatsApp group too as well, or send it via email to us, and then of course in other webinars, upcoming trainings, I will be able to attend to the questions. So in our next training, which is going to be on Monday, so Mr. Ronald says he will be taking you guys through the webinar that we postponed this week, the one on how you can create your pre-sale content and how you can create your advert. So he's going to be taking you through all of that this coming Monday. So you're going to learn how you can create your pre-sale content and how you can create adverts online. So after that one, he will also be teaching you how you can create sales copies, basically for people who are full-time merchants. Then I will be teaching you how you can create your follow-up messages. Okay, so then I will be sending you video tutorials on how you can design your website. Okay, and once you have all of these things, then I'm going to do a particular webinar later on that is going to put everything together so that you can actually have an overall view of what you need to do step by step. Okay, so once again, that will be all for now, and I would like to say thank you very much for attending this training. Please do have a good night rest.